Hey guys, Brian here, Learning Silver and Gold. So I wanted to a fairly quick update video real quick on kind of where I'm at, and also I was kind of showing off my new chess set I got recently online through Etsy, and it actually does have where it opens up in here and all the pieces fit in like a foam deal. So it's a pretty nice set. It's and this one's not real big, a real big set, but it's a decent size and a very classy set of chess. So kind of showing that off today a little bit too. So I did get some more generic silver yesterday, and I went ahead and focused on 90%. So I did get some more, just some coal Morgans and some more peace dollars. And since my local vendor does price breaks, if I buy 10 or more, I get $2 off each coin. So I went ahead and got 5 of each of those, and I did realize I was counting. I've been getting kind of getting rolls of these built up, and I realized one of my rolls I was actually too short on the Morgans, so I'll be putting 2 of those with my the roll that I had was to finish that one roll out. So I think I've got so a little over, I think 2 rolls of each of those now on the peace dollars and the Morgans and stuff. So also I got some more 90%. I got some quarters, which I'm not usually a fan of the quarters. I think they look so common usually that I'm always afraid they get mixed into other stuff. But these 1964s were very clean, and they were just kind of thrown in the 90% bin at my LCS. And so, I thought, well, those are like super clean. And so I went ahead and picked up like what I got, I guess 8 of them. So I think I got most of what they had that were real clean. I got me some more Mercury dimes, which is definitely one of my favorites in terms of 90%. If I get that on zoom in, but most of you probably are familiar with Mercuries. But yeah, definitely a favorite of mine. And then I did find in that same bin, they did have, I guess it's a barber dime. I've never actually had one of these, but maybe some of my viewers, maybe you're more familiar with this one than I am, but it was a 1914. I'm assuming it's a barber dime or something, and stuff. So it was kind of unique, and it was just in the same bin, same price. So I went ahead and I thought, well, I'll pick it up and see, maybe it's something special, and it doesn't hurt to have something unique in your collection, even if it's just 90% and stuff. So also I did put back a little bit of cash, and that's something I mentioned in my previous video, that also storing up, having some cash for emergencies, in particular, falling on hard times and layoffs, things like that come up, financial issues or whatever. So definitely, I would encourage to have some money put back. So, in speaking of that, I also wanted to talk kind of a little bit about the economy in general. And as we see, there's more and more talks of, really what I would say is, proof of recession that we're, in my opinion, we're already in the U.S. and many other countries are also going through some similar things, if not worse, depending on the area and stuff globally. So layoffs, Microsoft 10,000, Amazon 18,000 plus for them, Facebook Meta 11,000, which is 13% of their workforce. Pepsi headquarters 3,000, and Coca-Cola had sidled, and I didn't hear a number yet from them. Google 10,000 layoffs for Google. Twitter laid off around 50% after their acquisition. Salesforce 10% of cuts. Intel Corp 1K. This list goes on and on. Goldman Sachs financially, bankers, there's 4,000 bankers being laid off from Goldman Sachs as well. Office Depot 13,000, plus there's going to be store closings with them. And I heard an interesting number recently on tech workers in general, that as of January 15th, in the first basically 15 days of 2023, globally, there's been an average of 1,600 tech layoffs a day. Okay, just think about that for a second. So it just tells you one of the hardest hitting ones is big tech and stuff. So that's very interesting, something to keep an eye on. And I think we're just seeing the beginnings of the banking sector as well being affected, and also real estate in particular, which those kind of go hand in hand. We're going to start seeing, I think, those are some of the big shoes to drop, will be things like the real estate bubble. Once that pops, it's going to be atrocious for the economy. Store closings also. Walmart talking about closing 160 plus stores. Macy's 125 stores. Bed Bath and Beyond anywhere from 60 to 150 stores, from what I can gather. Some of these other ones I didn't have numbers on them, but Kohl's, Joann's Fabric, CVS, Big Lots, Old Navy, and Barnes and Noble, just to name a few. That I had heard about recently. So store closings, layoffs, just overall job losses, job cuts. There's even been some. I've even heard some cuts in wages even happening. And there was in California. I heard there was a company that was cutting wages, and I'm a recruiter as my job. So I was talking to a guy recently that he was moving from California, and which a lot of people are getting out of that hellhole, but he was actually being lowered down. I think he said they were doing like a $2 decrease or something like that. It was at least $1 or $2 down to like $15 an hour or something. Like maybe he was making 16 or 17, and they were actually cutting his wages. And I was like, wow, in California they're going to cut your wages? Like, it's so expensive to live out places like that. I can't imagine. So so there's that. I mean, just things like that. Companies are trying to find ways to survive in this economy, and it's not easy, and it's not going to be easy at all. So companies are going to have to do what they got to do to try to survive, and sadly we hear with all the economy and talks about trying to control inflation, which all they're doing, they're just making it worse for you and me, for the average person, average American, and stuff. So, and make no mistakes about it, this is a global crisis. Okay, this is a worldwide crisis right now, economically, and different governments are dealing with their own aspects, their own issues, their own weaknesses, as their own not only the currencies, all these fiat currencies are failing, but there's other issues in conjunction with that, and we start talking about supply chain issues and the brink of war, and all the issues that come with that. So, but yeah, so definitely keep doing what you got to do. Put back some cash as well as your gold and silver as part of your strategy. And one of the big aspects here is the banking, collapse. When this happens, you don't you got to be careful having too much money in an actual bank, and especially if you're having it in one bank. And I don't really trust the big banks, so I have I use a local credit union primarily, but I don't really trust the big banks, because I think they're going to be some of the first, probably the hardest hit initially, and especially with these layoffs and things coming. I think we're going to see more and more of that, especially as the mortgage stuff collapses because of the high interest rates and housing prices. Now, at some point there'll be a correction in the pricing of the homes and stuff. There'll have to be a correction there, which can be good for people like me that want to be a buyer at some point, as far as getting a homestead. So that can be the right time to pounce for people if you're looking for a homestead like me, and try to get if you can get once the deflation kicks in and there's the bottom falls out on the real estate prices and land, then that'll be the time to go in and soak it up. Of course, that's assuming all the Bill Gates and all the elites haven't bought it already, which they are. That's something they're pushing for, is trying to buy all the farmland in America and stuff. They're trying to soak it all up while they can. And so, but I mean, if I would just be looking for an acre or something like that. I'm not obviously looking for 100 or something like that, nothing crazy, but so that'll be a time to pounce, ideally, especially once the as the dollar collapses, then the gold will go up. Now, I'm not one to put numbers to things usually, but I have heard some think that gold might go up as far as spot price, which we know is all manipulated, but that might be up as much as 3,000, or maybe even could even surpass that. But some say by the end of 2023, I've heard some numbers that it could easily be 2,500 or more by the end of the year. And that wouldn't really surprise me, honestly. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. And if it still stayed around that 1,800 2,000 range, it wouldn't surprise me either, I guess. But it just depends on the dollar and supply chain and all those issues that feed into it. But at some point, they're not going to be able to manipulate the price of gold and silver as much anymore. At some point, there kind of comes a reckoning where people realize, wait a minute, my money's, becoming worthless. What do I do? And so some things to keep in mind, and just make sure you're not one in 2023 and going forward, you're not going to be checkmated yourself. Okay. All right. Talk to you soon, guys. Keep stacking.